Hello gorgeous and welcome. I'm super glad you're here and I hope you're having a great day. If you're new here, hi, my name is Rachel. I'm a nurse by trade, gone YouTube wannabe. I left my job about 3.5 years ago to be the primary caregiver to my son who's ill. I'm a little bit eclectic and kind of ADHD, so I like gardening and organizing and makeup and all the things. So if you like those things too, make sure you hit that subscribe button and notification bell because I do try to upload at least 3 times a week. Today we're going to be playing with the new-ish Urban Decay palette, Wild Greens. Urban Decay says that this is 12 wildly pigmented shades from earthy neutrals to lush wild greens, inspired by California wellness. It says it's a vegan formula with a hint of avocado oil. I'm really loving the outer packaging and the doodle artwork. I think it's super cute. And from my unprofessional perspective, I'm seeing 6 metal shades depicted by the rock and roll hand, 4 mattes depicted by Matt the cat, and 2 shimmers with a little sparkle icon. But now that I'm looking at it more closely in the swatches, Chill in the upper left-hand corner, I think it's more of a shimmer, but it's hard for my little old eyes to tell. I feel like this is a beautiful color story and I can't wait to try it out, so I'm going to show you a few swatches. So I thought it would be neat to do 2 different looks. One using colors from the bottom row and then the other using colors from the top row maybe. So let's give that a try. My shirt has a little bit of green undertones in it. I'm gonna go for a green look today. And I'm just gonna go in with this earth side, sweep it onto the crease into the lid, kind of like as a transition color. It's a little bit darker than I actually thought it would be. I think it looks darker on the lid than what it does in the pan, but it's still a nice transition color. So I'm just gonna do the same thing on the other eye. Okay, so next I'm gonna go into this color Kale. That has a lot of, I don't know if I just need a different, like if this brush is too hard. No, it's pretty soft. It's a lot of kick up in the pan. Just gonna focus that more on the outer edge of the eye. Let me show you how this looks in the pan because it's like kicking up a lot. Then I'm just gonna do the same thing on the other eye. Okay, I'm gonna go in with this color, Super Greens, just on the lid. I'm gonna just try to pack that on the lid and see how that looks. Oh, like that. Then I'm just gonna do the same thing on the other eye. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with this prickly shade next, just right on top of that super green shade and see what kind of color I get and spray that with a little setting spray. That's really pretty. I really like that. Kind of working that just onto the lid carefully so I don't get it all in my lashes. And the more you like swoop around a shade like this, I feel like it falls out. So I'm just trying to carefully place it exactly where I want it and then kind of leave it alone. Now the other eye, I'm just gonna do the same thing. Then I wanted to kind of like highlight under my brow a little bit because I feel like I went up a little bit too high with some of those colors as well. So I don't really see a shade that I would really like to use. So I think I'm gonna go in with that Chill from the top row and see kind of what happens. Okay, that's way too light and shimmery. Yeah, not a good look, but I'm gonna go ahead and match the other eye. If we're gonna have a train wreck, we're gonna have it on both sides. I really am not happy with that, so I think I'm gonna go over with a little bit of Aura from the Tati Beauty palette. Kind of liking that better. Do the same to the other eye. Yeah, I definitely like that a little bit better. It's a little bit of glitter fallout, but I feel like with glitters, you're always gonna have that, so I'm not overly concerned about that. All right, I'm gonna do my base and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've got my base done and I'm gonna go in and do the lower lash line. And I think I'm gonna go in with this dark, even though it's a little bit metallic shade called Stash, and kind of try to tightline the under lash line with that. And since I've not been having the best luck applying my eyeliner lately, I'm just going to do the same thing on the top of the lid with this Stash color and use it like a liner. Having a lot of fallout. Try to pick up a little bit less on the brush, maybe. And then I'm going to go in with a fluffier brush. I'm going to go into that kale color. Actually, I'm going to go into kale. I'm going to kale and kind of like where I want it. I'm sorry you can't see. I want to go in with super greens in the inner portion. Kind of lighten that up and blend it into kale. I'm going to go in with, because the only color I think I haven't used on the bottom, or on the bottom row, is this twist color. So I think I'm going to use it. Oh, I like that. I kind of wish I'd used that on the lid color now. Now I'm just going to apply some mascara on the bottom lashes, and then I'll be back. All right, so this is the finished look for look number 1 with the Urban Decay Wild Greens palette. And if you want to see look number 2, then stick around. 2 seconds for you. It'll be tomorrow for me. So I think I'm going to dip into this turmeric shade here. Oh, wow. When they said wildly pigmented for this color, they meant it. I'm gonna take this big fluffy brush and go into lo-fi and kind of smooth out that edge. Okay, and now I'm gonna go into, I think, High Vibe, because I'm noticing this one has a little bit more like a, I don't know if it's picking up on camera, it has kind of a green shift to it. And since I'm going with a more neutral look, I think I'm gonna go into High Vibe. Wow, I think that's super, super pretty. I would like that lighter shade to show up a little bit more, so I'm gonna go in with a little bit smaller brush. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with a little bit smaller of a fluffy brush and try to like soften that edge just a little bit more and get that lo-fi color to show up a little bit better. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing I did yesterday and dip into the Tati Beauty palette, just because there isn't really a brow highlight color that I like in this palette. And I'm gonna dip into that color Aura, my brow. So I'm really liking how that's looking so far, so I'm gonna go in and do the under eye area. I'm gonna take this kind of precision-y brush. That's a technical term, precision-y. And I'm gonna put it into Kickback, kind of like line my waterline. This one's kind of giving me a lot of fallout. Actually, that's the only color from the top row that's giving me the kind of kickback that I had in the pan yesterday. So that's kind of funny that it's called Kickback. I'm sure they meant like kickback and relax, but haha. I'm gonna go ahead and line the top line with that too, because I've not been having the best luck with eyeliner lately. And I don't see out of this eye, so if I close this one to line it, it's the blind literally leading the blind. And now I'm gonna go with another small fluffy brush into this, I think into turmeric shade, and line under my eye. Now I'm gonna take this little teeny brush and use that chill in the inner corner. It's because I'm giving this palette a whirl and trying out all the shadows. Fuzz is the only one on the top row that I haven't tried, so I think I'm gonna line that in the inner third portion just to see what it looks like. Okay, so this is the finished look number 2. I have to say this one's my favorite, and I was only going to do 2 looks, one with the top row and one with the bottom row, but I feel like I didn't do the green justice. Just there's so many pretty colors in there, and I really would like to play with this one and this one a little bit more. So I'm going to give you a bonus look tomorrow, see if I can do this palette justice, because I'm really, really liking this palette, and I can see this being an everyday palette that you could also use to brighten up with a fun green color and use some of the metallic shades. The only 2 beefs with this palette is I wish there was a dark matte green in here, and I wish there was a better like brow highlight color in here, maybe a shade lighter than like in between here, but not, I would like it to be more matte. Those are just my preferences. If you're not super into color, I think this is like a great starter palette to get into a little bit of color. And I think this is a magnet closure. Yeah, so it's a magnetic closure, but the only problem with the packaging that I've found is like, okay, I just closed it. See that little gap in there? Just kind of have to push it together, make sure it's all the way closed, or the eyeshadows are exposed a little bit. But really, I like the packaging. It's slim, it's lightweight, and I like how you can fold it back. I guess the other thing with this palette that I really like having a mirror. So that's the only other problem. But overall, I really like it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow with look number 3. Oh, so I was editing and I just realized that I deleted part of the footage of me, especially the beginning footage of me doing the 3rd look with the Wild Greens palette. So annoying. I'm going to go ahead and insert the footage I have. But I just want to tell you the colors that I used. I went in Kale in the inner crease and the outer edge. And then I blended it out with Super Greens. And I really want to tell you this because this was actually my favorite look out of the 3 that I did. And it's the only one that I actually deleted the footage because I record on my phone and I needed the space and I'm an idiot. I'm going to go in with a flat brush into the shade Twist. Just apply that to the lid. Actually, I'm going to take that down into the inner corner as well. I really like that. I think I'm going to go in with another flat brush into this shade Prickly here. I don't know. I think I'm going to go in with Stash and just tap a little bit on the outer edge. Kind of deepened it up a little bit. I like that. And just because I'm a flake, and I think that it looks pretty, the green up that high, but I just don't really like it on me. I think I'm going to go in with a little bit of this Lo-Fi from the top row and just kind of buff it in there and see if I can lighten up that green line there. Yeah, I'm liking that better. It's probably so subtle you can't even tell, but I like that a lot better. Gonna do the same to the other eye. Yeah, I like that a lot better. All right, I'm gonna put on my base and then I'll be back to finish the lower lash line. All right, so here's the finished look number 3. This is one of the green looks. And I do have to say, I think this one out of all 3 is my favorite. So you have to let me know what you think in the comment section. If you own this palette, do you love it? Do you hate it? What do you like about it? I'm really liking this, and I think I'm going to get a lot of use out of that. And I'm really now trying to curate my collection to where I'm only getting palettes that I'm really going to get a lot of use out of or are super unique to my collection. I did a huge palette declutter a few weeks ago if you want to see that. I'll link it up there. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, girls.